All right, as the title mentions, this video is basically about why you aren't passing your evaluations. Why can't you get funded? Why aren't you being able to trade consistently? Okay, there's going to be, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some bullet points on some of the things that I believe is the biggest reasons why you're not passing an evaluation, why you're not succeeding with trader funding. And on each bullet point, I'll just kind of elaborate on each one. And these are some things that I've noticed with a lot of people over the last couple of years. These are some things that I've done personally myself and had to overcome. And it's not all just trader discipline and psychology. All right, so I'm just going to dive into this first. So the first thing that I notice, that I see, is trading too large. Okay, what do I mean by that? So a $50,000 account, and I'm just going to refer to Apex Trader Funding in this video. This can go for any funding company. Okay, no matter who you use, these things apply to all of them, in my opinion. All right, but whenever I refer to numbers and things like that, it's going to be based off of Apex Trader Funding because that's who I use. So a $50,000 account with Apex Trader Funding, what do we know? We have a profit goal of $3,000, right? We also have a drawdown amount that we cannot hit or we blow our account, and that is $2,500, right? So if you trade, well, in a $50,000 account, we can go up to 10 contracts, okay? So if you trade 10 contracts, that you're going to blow your account super quick, right? Because just think about it this way. If you trade 10 contracts on the NASDAQ, on NQ, each contract is worth $5, right? It's a $5 contract. So think about it this way. One trade at 10 contracts, if it goes against you 50 ticks, which is not very much, just a little more than 10 points, right? 50 ticks, your account is blown. So, and even let's say you do that and it works out for you. Well, when you get into a funded account, you're just basically gambling, right? So what do we know about the difference between a gambler and a trader is risk management. We're not gambling here. We're trying to be in it for the long term, right? At least I know I am. I'm not just trying to get a lucky trade and, get funded and then a lucky trade and get paid. No, I want this for the long term, right? So, and so should you. So if you're, now look at it the other way. If you're going for $100 a day, right? $100 a day. Now you have to lose $100 a day for 25 days in a row before you blow that account. Okay? That's unlikely if you have a good strategy, right? I always say the 3 rules for trading is have number 1 is strategy, number 2 have a money management plan, and number 3 have the discipline to follow both of those. Okay, so doing this, it's able to distinguish whether you have a bad strategy or if you have bad money management. Okay, so trading too large, stop trading too large. You don't need to go in with 10 contracts, not even 5 in my opinion on a $50,000 account. I would only go for 1 contract, maybe 2 if you're really, really, really consistent and you have patience and everything like that. Maybe 2, but maybe only even an evaluation. Don't do that in a funded account. You could check out my money management videos too. I go over that. Okay, so trading too large. Don't trade too large. Have patience. Next one here. Timeline. What do I mean by timeline? Okay, all the funding companies have a certain amount of time you have to trade in evaluation, test, whatever you want to call it. We call it an evaluation. You have to trade a certain amount of days, right? Apex Trader Funding, right now, currently, it is 10 days that you have to trade. 10 days, okay, for an evaluation. Minimum. Let's not mess that up. Minimum. Can you take a month? Yes. Can you take 2 months? Yes. 6 months? Yes. There's no limit on the max amount of time you can go, but the minimum is 10 days. Okay. So this timeline is two-part. It's the time that's required from the funding company. So Apex is 10 days. Once you're funded, then you have a timeline to get a withdrawal, right? And then also for aside from those, people put a timeline on themselves, because what do we know? When you sign up for an evaluation account, there's a monthly recurring cost, correct? So let's just say, for example, right now, Apex Trader Funding has the sales 50% off recurring months. After tax and all, let's say on a $50,000 account, it's around $90, okay? $85 plus tax, whatever it is. So what most people do is they want to get funded before those 30 days, right? So that way you avoid the recurring cost, which I get it. That's okay. But everybody has a financial position that they're in and that they're okay with. I personally would recommend don't do that. Don't try to beat that 30 days, because what's going to happen is as you get closer, if you're not getting close enough or you don't see progress, if you're like, oh, I can't make it, you're going to start trading bad. You're not going to trade the way you should be. If you have a plan and you're going, and then maybe you have a few bad days, but now you're like, oh, I'm not going to make the 30 days. It's going to charge me again. So then you increase your contracts, or you do this, or you do that different. That's not your trading style. So you're going to mess up. That timeline is going to create a false sense of urgency, okay? The timeline can be many things. It could be that. It could be the 10 days. It could be, you have some bills. What I say, always. So basically, I think you should have a set dollar amount that you should expect to spend before going into this, okay? Just like any business, you start up any business, you're usually going to front load the cost, right? You're going to not be into profit right away. If you start a business, a brand new business, you're going to have to front load the cost. Same thing with trading. So don't come in expecting right away, oh, I'm going to get funded in after 10 days, under 30 days, I'm just going to get paid. Best case scenarios, okay? Don't do that, because if you do that, like I said, and it doesn't go according to plan, which doesn't always, because this is trading, then it messes you up and you start trading differently, okay? Also, the last thing, don't put a timeline on your success. Everybody has a different time frame for when they're successful. Some people can do it in 3 months, 6 months. Some take 2 years. Some takes 8 years. Okay, don't put a time frame. And have the ability to know whether trading's for you or not. But don't put a timeline, because if you say I have to get funded by this day, or I have to do this by that time, then all you're going to do is create a sense of urgency that is going to make you trade differently. Okay, timelines create false senses of urgency, in my opinion. Next, changing strategies. Okay, I can raise my hand on this one. I've done this many times. Okay, where we're doing good. All of a sudden, we have a few bad days, right? Maybe even a bad week. Then we start reevaluating everything. We're constantly trying to reevaluate what we do, right? And we should reevaluate, analyze, see how we can improve, see how we can do better. At the same time, don't go changing your strategy every couple days. You have to, in order to be consistent, you have to do things that are consistent, right? In order to be consistent, you have to do things that are consistent. Changing strategies does not create consistency. What you can do is have a strategy and then build up on top of that strategy, okay? Have your foundation, have your base, have your bread and butter, then build on top of it. I recently, I've done this many times. Even whenever I began, as many of you know, I trade the Apex investing trading strategy, the sniper strategy, right? And I've tried different ways, all sorts of different ways within the system, and I've just gone back and forth and back and forth. But whenever I stick to what I'm really good at, stick to it for 30 days. And you should do this too. Whatever strategy, doesn't matter what it is. Any strategy out there, stick to it. Give it 30 days. Okay, 30 days with a good money management plan. I bet you it'll work better than if you keep changing your strategies every few days or every couple weeks. Okay, so stick to a strategy and build upon it. Okay, just like a foundation, just like a house. Have the foundation, then build up. Okay, next one. No money management plan. This is a good one. I like it because whenever I finally figured out how to have a good money management plan, that's whenever I was able to take a lot of emotions out of my trading. A lot of times I see people, in different groups, different chats, different places where, one day they'll post a P&L of $4,000 or something. It's great. And then all of a sudden, a few days later, they're like, I blew my account. It's like, ooh, not great. What happened? Well, whenever I've talked to these people privately, most of them, my first question is, do you have a money management plan? What's your money management plan? And I'd say 9 out of 10 say, well, I don't have one. Okay. Everybody's money management plan is going to be a little bit different because everybody's strategy is different. For example, I personally, if I only go for around 40 ticks a day for my profit target, my money management is going to be different than somebody that is looking for 100 ticks or 100 points or 50 points a day. Okay? Different money management strategies, different ways. And the biggest thing when it comes to a money management strategy, in my opinion, is the risk side. How much per day are you willing to risk? Are you willing to risk only $100 a day and have unlimited profit potential? Are you willing to risk $200 a day? No matter what it is, at least set a hard stop on how much you're willing to risk for the day. Okay? And like I said, on a $50,000 account for Apex, if you have a $2,500 drawdown and you're only risking $100 a day, you have to lose 25 times in a row, 25 days in a row. And if you lose that many days in a row, now we know, very simple. Okay, maybe my strategy is not working. Okay. Otherwise, if you have a strategy that is winning 50% or more, you will be profitable in the long term. It's just the probabilities. That's how it works, right? Put the probabilities in your favor. Put them in your favor, and you can be the casino. That's simple. Mark Douglas talks about that all the time. It really is that simple. If you can, it's just numbers. If you can win at least 50% of your trades or more and have a money management plan where you're risking a certain amount, over time, you're going to be profitable. Even if your trades win, if your strategy, all you need is to win 30% of the time, adjust your money management accordingly to be profitable long term. It's really all it is. Okay? So create a money management plan, stick to it. Next one. Unsatisfied with small wins. We're not always going to hit the home runs. You're not going to get a home run every single day. Be okay with just ending for the day, right? In the green. If my profit target is $500 a day and, I only hit $100 for that day, but I've traded, things are just not going that great, it's okay. It's okay. $100 a day makes a lot of money. And especially if you have multiple trading accounts, right? If you have 10 accounts making $100 a day each, that's $1,000 a day, $5,000 a week, $20,000 a month. Obviously, that's assuming no losses. But if it's half as good, you're looking at $10,000 a month right there. That's simple. Off of $100 a day. That's all you need. And if you hit those home runs every now and then, beautiful, right? But you're not always going for a home run. Don't always swing for the home runs. Take base hits here and there and then get the occasional home run. Too many people are just trying to get those home runs. We're in this, again, I'm going to say it, we're in this for the long term, not to just, we don't want it to be a lottery ticket, right? We don't want a lottery ticket where we're like, oh, we got a great one. Great. I'm going to take the rest of the month off. At least for me anyways, I don't want that. I want consistency over the long term. If any of you want to make a living at this, you can't just go for home runs. It doesn't work that way. All right. Let's see. We have the next one is you don't know how to lose. This was one of my biggest problems when I got started trading. I did not know how to lose. In life, nobody teaches us how to lose. I say this over, and I've been saying this over and over and over for a long time. Nobody teaches us how to lose. What do I mean by that? Especially if you grow up playing sports, you're an athlete, if you like, sports, anything like that. If you do anything with competition, we're taught our whole life, we want to win, right? We want to win. We want to be the best. We want to win. But in circumstances, in sports and different things, is it possible to not lose? Yes, it's possible to not lose. Can you have an undefeated season? Yes. Is it highly likely? No. But is it possible? Yes. In trading, is it possible to never lose? Absolutely not. That's the thing. We are going to take losses, right? We're going to take losses. And for me, because I'm super competitive and I don't like to lose, if I would take a loss and everything looked great, my setup was perfect, my entry was perfect, everything looked beautiful, and I lost, I feel like, what is that? Why did I just lose? It shouldn't have lost. I did everything perfect. And you feel betrayed a little bit. And because we don't know how to lose, we say, well, you know what? I lost. I shouldn't have lost. That's not right. I got to go get my win. I got to win. And if you do that on a trade by trade basis you're going to, that's how you spiral out of control. Also, accept a losing day. Not every single day can be a losing day. But I tell you what, if you can accept a losing day, it makes it easier to not have losing weeks, not have losing months. Because if you could just shake off a day as, I did the best I could. I'll review my trades later. I'll do my chart review later. But today was just a bad day. I lost. I followed my money management. I stopped when I was supposed to. I lost. Come back the next day. Bam, you get a winner, right? Now, next thing you know, when you look back at the end of the week, you only had one losing day or maybe two, but you still had a profitable week. And then you go forward the next week. Same thing. Then you look back the last month, you say, wow, I actually had a really good month. I only lost, maybe 3, 4, 5 times in the entire month. But because I had my limit on my money management, guess what? I didn't, it just shook it off. And now I've had a profitable month. Okay. Nobody teaches us how to lose. And I always say, if you stop today, your tomorrow self will thank you for stopping. Because when tomorrow comes and you have a good day, you're going to say, oh man, I'm so glad I stopped yesterday when I was supposed to. Otherwise, you'll be mad at yourself for not stopping when you were supposed to the day before. Would you rather, and that goes back to the money management, have to have a plan. But would you rather, if I had a great day today, but I know yesterday was bad, would you rather be in this position where you say, you know what, I had a great day today. Yesterday was horrible, but it didn't matter because today was a good day. I stopped when I was supposed to yesterday. Now I'm back in the profit. Or would you rather sit there like, man, if only I stopped yesterday, this great day I had today would have wiped that day out. Okay? It's very little things like this. But again, nobody teaches us how to lose. So we have to accept that we're going to have a losing day. Okay? Accept it. And then with the money management, that allows you to become robotic in your trading as much as possible. All right. Next one. Forget about the money. Ooh, what do I mean by that? All right. So forget about the money. Take that out of your head. Don't think about, oh, I want to make this much. I have to make this much. I've lost this much. $250, $200, $500. What I do is everything I do is I think in ticks. I think in ticks. Now, if you take larger trades, maybe you could think in points. But I think in ticks. There's a few reasons, okay? First reason is if I have a tick goal every day and not a dollar amount, then every trade looks the same. My P&L, I don't know if you've probably noticed when you've seen me live, I don't have a P&L on my chart. You won't see a P&L. I never show a P&L. I never talk about P&L. I only talk about ticks, because if you make it all look the same, then when you increase contracts later, it's the same. Okay? Let's say, for example, you have a risk limit of $200 a day, right? I'm like, okay, well, if I hit $200 that day losing, then I stop. Okay. You go on, you're trading, you're building up a cushion, you're having success. You say, ooh, you know what? I'm going to increase contract size now. So if you increase from one contract to two contracts, now, instead of losing 200 a day, you should be allowing yourself to lose 400 a day, because you just increased contract size, right? Which means your profits are going to be larger. But psychologically, what that does is, let's say now you've lost, and instead of seeing your P&L minus 200 and you're okay, you've accepted that, you see it as minus 400. And you're not used to that. You're thinking, oh man, it looks a lot more. That's a big loss. I got to get back. And then you spiral and go full tilt, go out of control, right? Versus if I'm used to losing 40 ticks a day and I can do one contract, all I see is 40 ticks lost. I can do 10 contracts, all I see is 40 ticks lost. It doesn't mess with your psychological level there. Your mental game stays the same, right? Because you're not seeing all these different numbers, bigger numbers. You don't get as nervous. You can stay in the trade. You could trade the way you normally trade if you do it that way. Focus on ticks, not dollars. Also, again, we're in this for the long term, right? The other part of this, forget about the money, as in don't think about, I just want to get my withdrawal. I just want to withdraw. Forget about it. Okay? This goes back to timeline, what I talked about earlier. If you're focused on the money and you just want to get that withdrawal, then as you get closer, if you have a bad day and all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I might not be able to make the withdrawal. What do? You trade differently. You increase your contracts. You do different things. It creates, again, another false sense of urgency, and you don't trade the way you're supposed to. Yes, we all want to get paid. Right, I got it. I know. We all want to get paid. We all want to withdraw, right? Make as much as we can. Nobody wants to do this for nothing. We don't want this to just be a hobby, something for fun. It's to make money. But if you get to where we're getting close to our withdrawal period, right, where we can submit for withdrawal, and you don't make it, it's really not that bad to wait another month. It sounds bad, but it's really not. Because if you're trading the right way, you're consistent, you're building, then by the time you get to that next one, instead of barely being at a stage where you can withdraw, now you should have a big cushion where you withdraw and you still have a nice cushion there to rely on, right? Because we're here for the long term. Don't forget that. And like I said earlier, I know everybody wants to beat these timelines, beat these days, get paid as quick as possible. But in my opinion is you need to really slow down. Slow down. If you expect to spend 3 to 6 months out of pocket before you put money in your pocket, and if you can't afford to that, for that much cost for multiple accounts, focus on one account, right? Don't get 10 accounts if you need to fund them all in 1 month and get paid the next month. That makes no sense. You're creating false timelines, false sense of urgencies for no reason. Okay. And that is all for the topics here. But like I said, go back through all these, think about them. Are you doing any of these? Does any of this fall under what's causing you to not pass your evaluations? Okay. And this is not talking about your specific trading strategy. There's many strategies out there. A lot of them work. Okay. If you're doing all of this and you're still not able to get funded or be consistent, then maybe take a look at your strategy, right? But if you have a strategy decent enough, then I guarantee you there's something you're doing that I've listed that you can work on. And if you do, just stick with it. Do that. And I bet you anything it's going to help your trading. All right. So I hope this helps somebody. Always check out futuresniperbeast.com for any new updates on Apex Trader funding, sales, Apex investing, things like that. Don't forget to join my group. All the links are in the description below. And I hope you all have a great day and trade well, everybody.